You ever use an app and it just feels right? Like it gets you? And then you open another one and it's so frustrating you just want to chuck your phone at the wall? Well, that feeling, it's not magic and it's not an accident. It's science. So let's pull back the curtain on the invisible world of cognitive science that shapes every single tap and swipe you make.
I mean, this is the million-dollar question, isn't it? And the answer isn't really in the code or the flashy graphics. It's all about the silent conversation happening inside our own heads, the way our brains are hardwired to see, think, and remember.
And the master key to all of this is one word: cognition. It's this big umbrella term for all the mental heavy lifting your brain does, every second of every day. In app design, understanding cognition is what separates a truly amazing experience from a total train wreck. Now, to really get this, we've got to look at two sides of the same coin. First, we have the basic operating manual for your brain, and second, how smart designers actually use that manual to build stuff that just feels, well, effortless.
Okay, so let's break this down. On one side, you've got the internal wiring of your brain. That's the process. It's how you just naturally operate. But on the other side, you've got the design choices, the aspects. And that's all about how developers build an app to work with your brain's rules, not against them. This car dashboard analogy just makes it click, right? The driver's meant to work, like judging speed or remembering what that weird little button does. That's the process. The smart design choices, like putting the speedometer right in your line of sight or using an icon everyone gets, those are the aspects. It's all about making the thinking part as easy as possible. All right, let's actually walk through the journey our brain takes the moment we open an app. We're going to start with that very first, almost instantaneous reaction. What's happening in those first few milliseconds? Before you can even really think, you perceive. Your brain is just inhaling all the raw data off the screen. The colors, the shapes, the sounds. This is its first and fastest job, just trying to make sense of what in the world it's even looking at. And designers use this stuff constantly. You don't need to read the word go to know what that big green button is for. You feel that little buzz when you type, and your brain goes, okay, got it. And you see a red border, and you instantly know, ups, I messed something up. It's communication without a single word. So, once your brain has perceived everything on the screen, it hits a roadblock. It can't possibly focus on everything at once. This is where attention swoops in. Think of it like your brain's spotlight operator, deciding what gets the focus and what fades into the background. And you see this everywhere, right? That little blinking cursor is basically shouting, hey, type here. That little red dot on an app icon creates an almost primal urge to click it. These are not random choices. They are precision tools designed to grab your limited attention and tell you exactly where to look next. Okay, so you've seen the screen, you've focused your attention, now what? Well, your brain starts to build a mental map of the place. This next part is all about learning the ropes and, crucially, remembering how to do things for the next time. Every time you use a new app, you are actively learning. Your brain is figuring out the rules, the layout, the patterns. Good design makes this feel totally intuitive. Bad design, well, that feels like you're cramming for a pop quiz you had no idea was coming. Seriously, think about how you learned to pull to refresh your feed. Nobody gave you a manual, right? The design itself taught you. And that's the whole point. The best apps are like these amazing teachers that guide you from being a total newbie to a pro without you even noticing. And of course, learning is tied directly to memory. Info zips in through your senses, hangs out for a bit in your short-term memory, and then, if it's important, your brain files it away in long-term storage. That's exactly why you can remember your Netflix password, but forget the two-factor code you looked at 2 seconds ago. Okay, this right here, this is one of the golden rules of design. It is so much easier for your brain to recognize something it's seen before, like an icon or a menu, than it is to recall it from the depths of your memory. It's why Amazon shows you recently viewed. They're helping you recognize, not forcing you to recall. All right, let's move up to the big leagues of thinking. Once you know your way around, you start using an app to actually do stuff, to achieve goals. And that requires a whole other set of cognitive tools for problem solving and making decisions. At the very heart of this is language. Whether you're reading an error message, talking to a voice assistant, or just hearing a specific notification sound, your brain is constantly processing language to get things done. Clear language makes it seamless. Confusing jargon turns it into a total chore. And this is where your brain's advanced toolkit really comes out to play. When you hit a snag, like a forgotten password, you're in problem-solving mode. When you're weighing your options during checkout, that's decision-making. And when you use new info to make a choice, like updating an app to fix a bug, you're using reasoning.
You know, when you really get down to it, it all boils down to the simple idea. Good design makes you feel capable. It makes you feel smart. It works with your brain. Bad design, well, it just puts up roadblocks and makes you feel like you're the problem. So the ultimate goal of all this science is to reduce something called cognitive load. Think of your brain's processing power like your phone's battery. It's finite. A badly designed app drains that battery just by forcing you to figure it out. But a great app, as you can see here, keeps that load really low, which frees up your brain to focus on what you actually wanted to do in the first place. Okay, we have covered a ton of ground here, from the first glance at a screen to complex problem solving. But what's the big takeaway? How does knowing all this change how you look at the tech you use every single day? Well, the next time an app feels unbelievably easy or just makes you want to scream, you'll know why. You'll be able to see the hidden choices that are either helping your brain or fighting against it. Because you're not just a user tapping on a screen, you're one half of this deep, silent conversation between human psychology and digital design. And now, you know how to listen in.